Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Chamal Rajpaksha ji, Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Shriman Ranil Wickremesinghe ji, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Nimal Siripala de Silva, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, I am truly delighted to visit Sri Lanka, a land of beauty, culture, and friendship. I am deeply honored to be in this Parliament. I am conscious of its rich history. This Parliament represents one of Asia's oldest democracies and one of its most vibrant. Long before many others in the world, Sri Lanka gave every individual a vote and voice. To the people of Sri Lanka, Ayubowan, Vanakkam, I bring the greetings of 1.25 billion friends and millions of fans of Sri Lanka cricket. I bring the blessings from the land of Bodh Gaya to the land of Anuradhapura. I stand here in respect of our shared heritage and in commitment to our shared future. Last May, when I took the oath of office, I was honored by the presence of South Asian leaders at the ceremony. Their presence was celebration of democracy's march in our region. I was also recognition of our common destiny. I am convinced that the future of any country is influenced by the state of its neighborhood. The future that I dream for India is also the future that I wish for our neighbors. We in the region are on the same journey to transform the lives of our people. Our path will be easier, the journey quicker, and destination nearer when we walk step in step. As I stand here in Colombo and I look north toward the Himalaya, I marvel at our region's uniqueness of our rich diversity and our common civilizational links. We have been formed from the same elements and from our interconnected histories. Today, we stand together as proud independent nations, sovereign and equal. India and Sri Lanka do not have a land boundary, but we are the closest neighbors in every sense. No matter where you look in India or Sri Lanka, the many strands of our links, religion, language, culture, food, customs, tradition, and epic come together into a deep and strong bond of familiarity and friendship. Ours is a relationship that is beautifully defined by the journey of Mahindra and Sanghmitra. They carried the message of peace, tolerance, and friendship more than 2 millenniums ago. It is evoked by Kannagi, the central character of the great Tamil epic Silapathikaram, who is worshipped as a goddess, the Patini. In Sri Lanka, it lives in the Ramayana trail in Sri Lanka. It expresses itself in devotion at the Dargah of the Nagore, Anandavar, and the Christian shrine of Velankani. It is reflected in the friendship of Swami Vivekananda and Anagarik Dharmapal, the founder of the Mahabodhi Society in Sri Lanka and India. It lies in the work of Mahatma Gandhi's followers in India and Sri Lanka. Above all, our friendship thrives through the interwoven lives of ordinary Indians and Sri Lanka. Our independent life began at about the same time. Sri Lanka has made remarkable progress since then. The nation is an inspiration for our region in human development. Sri Lanka is home to enterprise and skill and extraordinary intellectual heritage. There are businesses of global class here. Sri Lanka is a leader in advancing cooperation in South Asia. And it is important for the future of the Indian Ocean region. Sri Lanka's progress and prosperity is also a source of strength for India. So, Sri Lanka's success is of great significance to India. And as a friend, our good wishes and our support and solidarity have always been with Sri Lanka. And it will be always be there for you. For all of us in our region, our success depends on how we define ourselves as a nation. All of us in the region, indeed every nation of diversity, have dealt with the issues of identities and inclusion, of rights and claims of dignity and opportunity for different sections of our society. We have all seen its diverse expressions. We have faced tragic violence. We have encountered brutal terrorism. We have also seen successful examples of peaceful settlements. Each of us has sought to address these complex issues in our own ways. However, we choose to reconcile them. To me, something is obvious. Diversity can be a source of strength for nations. When we accommodate the aspirations of all sections of our society, the nation gets the strength of every individual. And when we empower states and districts and villages, we make our country stronger and stronger. You can call this my bias. I have been a chief minister for 13 years, a prime minister for less than a year. Today, my top priority is to make the states in India stronger. I am a firm believer in cooperative federalism. So, we are developing more power and more resources to the states, and we are making them formal partners in national decision-making processes. Sri Lanka has lived through decades of a tragic violence and conflict. You have successfully defeated terrorism and brought the conflict to an end. You now stand at a moment of historic opportunity to win the hearts and heal the wounds across all sections of society. Recent elections in Sri Lanka have reflected the collective voice of the nation, the hope for change, reconciliation, and unity. The steps that you have taken in recent times are bold and admirable. They represent a new beginning. I am confident of a future of Sri Lanka defined by unity and integrity, peace and harmony, and opportunity and dignity for everyone. I believe in Sri Lanka's ability to achieve it. It is rooted in our common civilizational heritage. The path ahead is a choice that Sri Lanka has to make. And it is a collective responsibility of all sections of the society and of all political streams in the country. But I can assure you of this, for India, the unity and integrity of Sri Lanka are paramount. It is rooted in our interests. It stems from our own fundamental beliefs in this principle. Honorable Speaker and distinguished members, my vision of an ideal neighborhood is one in which trade, investments, technology, ideas, and people flow easily across borders. When partnerships in the region are formed with the ease of routine. In India, the growth momentum has been restored. India has become the fastest growing major economy in the world. The world sees India as the new frontier of economic opportunity. But our neighbors should have the first claim on India. And I again repeat, the first claim on India is to our neighbors, to Sri Lanka. I'll be happy if India serves as a catalyst in the progress of our neighbors. In our region, Sri Lanka has the potential to be our strongest economic partner. We will work with you to address your concerns, to boost trade and make it more balanced. India's trade environment is becoming more and more open. Sri Lanka should not fall behind others in this competitive world. That is why we should conclude an ambitious, comprehensive economic partnership agreement. India can also be a natural source of investments for exports to India and elsewhere, and to build your infrastructure. We have made good progress today. Let us work together to harness the vast potential of ocean economy. Our two nations must also take the lead in increasing cooperation in the South Asian region and the linked BMISTIC region. Connecting this vast region by land and sea, our two countries can become engines of regional prosperity. I also assure you of India's full commitment to development partnership with Sri Lanka. We see this as a responsibility of a friend and a neighbor. India has committed $1.6 billion in development assistance. Today, we have committed further assistance of up to $380 million to the railway sector. We will continue our development partnership. We will be guided by your government, and we will do so for the same level of transparency that we expect in our own country. Last month, we signed the agreement on cooperation in peaceful use of the nuclear energy. More than anywhere else in the region, I see enormous potential to expand cooperation with Sri Lanka in areas like agriculture, education, health, science and technology, and space. Indeed, we are limited only by our imagination. We hope that Sri Lanka will take full benefit of India's satellite for the SAARC region. This should be in space by December 2016. People are at the heart of our relationship. When we connect people, bonds between nations become stronger. That is why we have decided to extend the visa on arrival facility to Sri Lankan citizens. We will also increase connectivity between our countries. We will strengthen ties of culture and religion. Last month, we announced reduction in fees for Sri Lankan nationals visiting National Museum in Delhi to see the Kapilavastu relics. We will bring our shared Buddhist heritage closer to you through an exhibition. Together, we will develop our Buddhist and Ramayana trails. My birthplace, Vadnagar, was an international center of Buddhist learning in ancient times. Excavations have revealed a hostel for 2,000 students in plan to redevelop the center. Mr. Speaker, a future of prosperity requires a strong foundation of security for our countries and peace and stability in the region. The security of our two countries is indivisible. Equally, our shared responsibility for our maritime neighborhood is clear. India and Sri Lanka are too close to look away from each other, nor can we be insulated from one another. Our recent histories have shown that we suffer together and we are more effective when we work with each other. Our cooperation helped deal with the devastation of tsunami in 2004. As a Chief Minister, I was pleased to share our experience in reconstruction after the Bhuj earthquake in 2001. Our cooperation is also integral to our success in combating terrorism and extremism. For both of us, local threats remains, but we see threats arising in new forms and from new sources. We are witnessing globalization of terrorism. The need of our cooperation has never been stronger than today. The Indian Ocean is critical to the security and prosperity of our two countries, and we can be more successful in achieving these goals if we work together, build a climate of trust and confidence, and we remain sensitive to each other's interests. We deeply value our security cooperation with Sri Lanka. We should expand the maritime security cooperation between India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, to include others in the Indian Ocean area. I often say that the course of the 21st century would be determined by the currents of the Indian Ocean. Shaping its direction is a responsibility for the countries in the region. We are two countries at the crossroads of the Indian Ocean. Your leadership and our partnership will be vital for building a peaceful, secure, stable and prosperous maritime neighborhood. In our deeply interconnected lives, it is natural to have differences. Sometimes it touches the lives of ordinary people. We have the openness in our dialogue, the strength of our human values, and the goodwill in our relationship to resolve them. Mr. Speaker, Sri Lanka and India are at a moment of a great opportunity and responsibility for realizing the dreams of our people. This is also a time for renewal in our relationship, for a new beginning and new vigor in our partnership. We have to ensure that our proximity always translates into closeness. We were honored that President Sirisena chose India as its first destination last month. I am honored to be his first guest here. This is how it should be between neighbors. Tomorrow, we'll go to Talai Mannar to flag off the train to Madhu Road. This is part of the old India-Lanka rail link. I recall the lines of a famous song, Sindhu Nidyani Misai, composed by the greatest nationalist poet, Subramaniam Bharati, in the early 20th century. Singala Tiva Kin Vakyanora Palam Ammai Pom. We shall construct a bridge of Sri Lanka. I have come with the hope of building this bridge. A bridge that resets and strong pillars of our shared inheritance of shared values and vision of mutual support and solidarity, of friendly exchanges and productive cooperation, and above all, belief in each other and our shared destiny. Thank you once again for the honor to be with you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.